Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Tuesday, April the 2nd, and welcome to our video commentary. I don't know about you, but I'm getting really frustrated with the federal government. And a lot of my frustration, I suppose, comes about because it seems like they can never get anything done. Now, I'm going to give President Trump here a little credit. I'm not saying he's free of sins, but I'm going to give him a little credit because at least he's trying to solve the problem. He's talking about a problem and saying we have to fix it. And the Democrats, on the other hand, just want to say no. They don't seem to have, they just want to say no. There is no problem, and the border situation is the perfect example of this. How can anybody say that there's no crisis on the border when you have people showing up? The Border Patrol people are complaining that they don't have the resources. People are showing up, they're showing up in groups and they're all basically saying the same thing. We're here for political asylum. And it seems like they're all basically working from the same script as if they've been prepared for this. Look, I have a lot of sympathy and a lot of respect for people everywhere. And I can certainly understand if people in Central America want to get out of not just the violence, but the poverty. I understand that. And certainly you can live a better life in Los Angeles than you can, let's say, in a provincial section of Guatemala or El Salvador. I understand that. I understand that part of it. But you also have to have some type of orderly entry of people. You can't just show up at the border and have the thousands of people show up at the border and say, we're seeking asylum. And then, of course, because of the laws that we have to say, okay, we're going to open up a case for you. Here's your court date. Now, the court date could be 5 years from now, which means that for the next 5 years, this person is in the United States, not totally illegally because they're waiting for a court date, but they're certainly in the United States and they're able to work, I assume, or mingle in their communities and whatever. And I think this is a problem that has to be fixed, but there doesn't seem to be any interest on the part of the Democrats to do anything at all that where they work with President Trump. Obamacare is another example of this. DACA is another example of this. President Trump in 2018 said, I'm willing to legalize 2 million people, 2 million dreamers, but you got to give me something in return. And the Democrats say, no, 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 no. In fact, the Democrats have forgotten about DACA. When was the last time they even talked about DACA? So we've reached a point where I think there's a lot of frustration with the federal government. And by the way, I'm going to go the other side right now. When the Republicans had a majority in the House and the Republicans had a majority, particularly in the Senate, look, we couldn't repeal Obamacare, even though we tried. And of course, unfortunately, Senator McCain, the late Senator McCain, voted no, and that killed the repeal right there. But I think we've reached the point where if you're getting frustrated with Washington and the total dysfunctional nature of Washington, I can certainly understand that, because it seems like everything going on in Washington has more to do with the promotion of your political party or the next election than to try to deal with the country's problems. How can anybody tell me that there's not a crisis on the border? I mean, come on, just look at it. Look at it. But, we're not getting anything done. Nothing gets done because on the Democrat side, everything is no and no and no. Now, let me just say one thing for the Democrats. I think they're making a huge political mistake in positioning themselves where they are with respect to the border and where they are with respect to illegal immigration. Because I don't believe that most Americans support illegal immigration, and I don't think most Americans support open borders. I think Americans want immigration laws to be respected, particularly the millions of people like me who came to this country legally. But at some point, the American people are going to have to remind the Democrats that they were sent there to get things done. They were not just sent there to say no to President Trump. So hopefully something gets done, because there are some problems that are not being addressed. Healthcare, the border. Come on. We got to get our act together and do something for the country. And for 5 minutes, let's forget about the party or the next election. Thank you for watching. We have all of these on YouTube. We have them on Twitter, and we have them on my blog. And if today is your birthday, happy birthday. Bye-bye, everybody.